Imagine a land sculpted by unforgiving winds, where horizons stretch into an endless grassy sea. Patagonia. Here, survival is a daily battle against the elements. But centuries ago, a people known as the Tehuelche thrived in this seemingly inhospitable environment. European explorers called them giants, marveling at their height and resilience. Yet these towering figures faced a fundamental challenge: a stark absence of trees. How did they, in this wood-scarce land, construct shelters capable of withstanding the brutal Patagonian climate? The answer lies buried in the earth itself, and in the ingenuity of a people forced to adapt, to innovate, to build from scratch. Official history often ignores what it cannot explain. If you want to go beyond textbooks and analyze the evidence, subscribe to the channel now. Giants of Patagonia. Defining the inhabitants' giants. The very word conjures images of myth and legend. But in the annals of Patagonian history, these giants were flesh and blood, a people who etched their existence onto the very landscape. The term Giants of Patagonia isn't merely a fanciful label, it's a reflection of the profound impression the Tehuelche people left on early European explorers. Magellan's voyage in the early 16th century marked the beginning of European encounters with these indigenous inhabitants. His crew, awestruck by their stature, described them as towering figures, a race of giants inhabiting this remote corner of the world. But who were these so-called giants? The Tehuelche were not a monolithic entity, but rather a collection of nomadic groups, each with its own distinct territory and customs, yet united by a shared language and cultural heritage. They were skilled hunters and gatherers, masters of their environment, their lives intricately woven into the rhythms of the Patagonian steppe. Their physical prowess was undeniable. While estimations of their height varied wildly among early accounts, it's clear that they were, on average, taller than the European explorers of the time. This, coupled with their robust physique, contributed to the perception of them as giants. It's crucial to understand that the term giant is relative. Early European accounts were often exaggerated, colored by the biases and limited understanding of the explorers themselves. The Tehuelche weren't literal giants in the mythological sense, but rather a people whose physical characteristics, particularly their height, stood in stark contrast to the Europeans who encountered them. Their height was likely a combination of genetic factors, a diet rich in protein from hunting guanacos and rheas, and a life of constant physical activity. Beyond their imposing stature, the Tehuelche possessed a deep understanding of the Patagonian environment. They were intimately familiar with the migratory patterns of the animals they hunted, the edible plants that grew in the harsh terrain, and the subtle signs of impending weather changes. This knowledge was essential for their survival in a land where resources were scarce and the elements unforgiving. Their nomadic lifestyle allowed them to follow the seasonal movements of their prey and to exploit the resources available in different regions of Patagonia. They were, in essence, perfectly adapted to their environment, a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. The treeless landscape, environmental challenges. The treeless expanse of Patagonia wasn't merely a scenic backdrop, it was the defining challenge of existence. Imagine trying to build a home, a shelter against driving rain and biting winds, without a single tree in sight. This wasn't a matter of preference for the Tehuelche, it was an environmental reality that shaped their entire way of life. The scarcity of trees dictated their architectural choices, forcing them to innovate and adapt in ways that might seem unimaginable to those accustomed to readily available timber. The reasons behind Patagonia's lack of forests are complex, a combination of geographical factors and climatic conditions. The Andes Mountains cast a significant rain shadow, blocking moisture-laden winds from the Pacific Ocean and creating arid conditions across much of the Patagonian steppe. Strong, persistent winds, often exceeding 60 miles per hour, further exacerbate the dryness, stripping away topsoil and hindering tree growth. The short growing season, coupled with nutrient-poor soil, also presented significant obstacles to the establishment of forests. This environmental pressure had profound consequences. The Tehuelche couldn't simply fell trees for construction. Instead, they were forced to rely on alternative materials, readily available, yet demanding resourcefulness to transform into functional structures. This scarcity fostered a deep understanding of the land and a commitment to sustainable practices. They couldn't afford to deplete the already limited resources around them. Their survival depended on their ability to live in harmony with the Patagonian environment, taking only what they needed and ensuring the continued availability of resources for future generations. The treeless landscape also impacted their nomadic lifestyle. Because they couldn't build permanent wood-based structures, their shelters needed to be portable and easily assembled. This necessity drove the development of ingenious techniques for constructing lightweight, adaptable dwellings, using materials sourced directly from the steppe. Guanaco hides, readily available stones, and sturdy branches from the hardy shrubs that managed to survive in the harsh climate. Their shelters, while perhaps appearing rudimentary to the untrained eye, were in fact marvels of ingenuity, perfectly suited to the demands of their nomadic existence and the challenges of the Patagonian environment. Resourcefulness unleashed alternative building materials. The absence of timber in Patagonia didn't stifle construction. It sparked an explosion of ingenuity, forcing the Tehuelche to become masters of alternative building materials. They transformed the seemingly barren landscape into a treasure trove of resources, understanding the unique properties of each element and employing them in ways that maximized both strength and insulation. Their resourcefulness wasn't just a matter of practicality. It was a testament to their deep connection to the land, a recognition that survival depended on respecting and utilizing every available resource. The most prominent of these materials was, undoubtedly, the hide of the guanaco. These camelids, abundant across the Patagonian steppe, provided not only sustenance but also the primary covering for their shelters. The process of transforming raw hide into a durable, weather-resistant material was a labor-intensive undertaking, involving careful tanning techniques using natural agents derived from plants and minerals. These methods, passed down through generations, ensured that the hides remained supple and resistant to decay, capable of withstanding the relentless Patagonian winds and rains. The hides were then meticulously sewn together, creating large panels that formed the walls and roof of their portable dwellings, known as toldos. Beyond the guanaco hides, the Tehuelche ingeniously incorporated readily available stones into the foundations of their shelters. These stones, carefully selected for their size and shape, provided a stable base, anchoring the toldo against the fierce winds that swept across the steppe. The stones also served as a barrier against ground moisture, preventing dampness from seeping into the interior of the dwelling. In areas where suitable stones were scarce, they utilized packed earth and readily available grasses to create a level platform, demonstrating their adaptability and resourcefulness in the face of varying environmental conditions. Finally, the skeletal framework of the toldos relied on the branches of hardy shrubs and bushes, the few woody plants that managed to thrive in the harsh Patagonian climate. These branches, carefully selected for their strength and flexibility, were bent and lashed together to form a dome-like structure, providing support for the guanaco hide covering. The Tehuelche understood the importance of selecting the right type of wood, favoring species that were naturally resistant to rot and insect infestation. This meticulous attention to detail ensured the longevity and durability of their shelters, allowing them to withstand the rigors of their nomadic lifestyle and the challenges of the Patagonian environment. Shelter construction techniques, from foundation to finish. The construction of a Tehuelche shelter began with the crucial foundation, a carefully constructed ring of stones laid upon the chosen campsite. This wasn't simply a haphazard arrangement. The stones were meticulously selected and placed, creating a level and stable platform that would anchor the entire structure. Larger stones formed the outer perimeter, providing a solid barrier against the wind, while smaller stones filled the gaps, creating a smooth surface upon which the guanaco hide covering would rest. The Tehuelche understood that a well-built foundation was essential for the longevity and stability of their toldos, especially in a land where fierce winds could easily topple a poorly constructed dwelling. With the foundation in place, the Tehuelche erected the framework, a delicate yet sturdy structure of interwoven branches. These branches, sourced from the toughest shrubs of the Patagonian steppe, were carefully bent and lashed together using sinew or strips of hide. The resulting framework resembled a dome or a semi-sphere, providing both structural support and ample living space within the toldo. The Tehuelche were masters of joinery, employing ingenious techniques to create strong and flexible connections between the branches, ensuring that the framework could withstand the constant buffeting of the wind. The angle and curvature of each branch was carefully considered, maximizing the overall strength and stability of the structure. The final step in the construction process involved draping the meticulously prepared guanaco hides over the framework. These hides, tanned and sewn together into large panels, formed the protective outer layer of the toldo, shielding its inhabitants from the elements. The Tehuelche carefully positioned the hides, overlapping the seams to prevent water from seeping through. They then secured the hides to the framework using wooden pegs or bone needles, creating a tight and weatherproof seal. The weight of the hides, combined with the secure fastenings, further stabilized the structure, ensuring that it could withstand even the strongest Patagonian winds. The completed toldo was more than just a simple shelter. It was a testament to the Tehuelche's ingenuity and adaptability, a symbol of their ability to thrive in one of the harshest environments on Earth. These portable dwellings provided warmth, protection, and a sense of security, allowing the Tehuelche to maintain their nomadic lifestyle and follow the seasonal migrations of the guanaco herds. The construction techniques they employed were a reflection of their deep understanding of the Patagonian environment, their resourcefulness in utilizing available materials, and their unwavering commitment to sustainable practices. Survival and legacy. Adapting to Patagonia's extremes, the ability of the Tehuelche to survive and indeed flourish in Patagonia hinged not only on their construction skills, but also on their capacity to adapt to the ever-changing conditions of this extreme environment. Seasonal migrations dictated their movements, following the guanaco herds across vast distances, and their toldos, ingeniously designed for portability, were central to this nomadic existence. They were masters of reading the landscape, understanding the subtle signs that indicated changes in weather patterns, the availability of resources, and the movements of their prey. This intimate knowledge, accumulated over generations, was crucial for their survival in a land where miscalculation could have dire consequences. Beyond the physical structures, the Tehuelche developed a rich cultural and social structure that reinforced their resilience. Strong kinship bonds provided a network of support, ensuring that individuals and families could rely on each other in times of hardship. Their oral traditions, passed down through stories and songs, preserved their history, their knowledge of the land, and their skills in crafting and survival. These traditions instilled a deep respect for nature and a sense of collective responsibility for the well-being of the community. They understood that their survival depended not only on individual skills, but also on cooperation and mutual support. The arrival of European settlers in Patagonia brought profound changes to the lives of the Tehuelche. The introduction of new technologies, such as firearms and horses, initially offered advantages in hunting and warfare, but ultimately disrupted their traditional way of life. The encroachment of settlers on their ancestral lands led to conflicts and displacement, forcing them to adapt to new circumstances and to compete for resources. Despite these challenges, the Tehuelche demonstrated remarkable resilience, clinging to their cultural identity and resisting assimilation. While the traditional nomadic lifestyle of the Tehuelche has largely disappeared, their legacy continues to resonate in Patagonia. Their knowledge of the land, their sustainable practices, and their remarkable adaptability offer valuable lessons for contemporary society. Their story serves as a reminder of the importance of respecting indigenous cultures, of living in harmony with nature, and of finding innovative solutions to the challenges of extreme environments. The faint echoes of their ingenuity still whisper across the Patagonian landscape, testaments to a people who not only survived but thrived in the face of adversity, leaving an indelible mark on this remote corner of the world. So the next time you're facing a seemingly impossible challenge, remember the giants of Patagonia. Remember their ingenuity, their resourcefulness, and their unwavering spirit in the face of a treeless landscape. Remember how they turned scarcity into abundance and built homes that stood the test of time. And perhaps, just perhaps, you'll find your own way to build something extraordinary from scratch, no matter how barren the land may seem.